Yeah, we were flipping out at that point.
I was
Like,
just annoyed. I was like, why
mad.
would they even be here to do that? Like, it's such a waste
Yeah.
of time and money and like blah 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 blah.
Hello and welcome to the Press Start podcast, Press Start Australia's weekly video game discussion podcast. I'm your host, Ewan, joined today by my fellow gamers and co-hosts, James.
Hello.
Brody.
Hello.
And Shannon.
Hello.
This week, we're going to be discussing the biggest announcements from Summer Game Fest 2025. But first, let me wind the clock back to Wednesday, midnight. Me and my mum went down to our local EB Games to pick up our Nintendo Switch 2s. By the end of the launch day, we each had our own, and we've spent the weekend with them. In amongst all of the Summer Game Fest stuff, granted, it's been a pretty action-packed weekend. I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling pretty exhausted. But Shannon, maybe first to you. It's out there in the wild now. You've kind of had a bit of a head start in getting your hands on the console early, but are you pleased to see everyone getting it and seemingly enjoying it so far? I think the reaction's been pretty positive, right?
Well, not in this release cycle. I feel like I was the last person in Australia to get it, if not the world. So, yeah.
I was thinking about like
Earlier.
the previous previews and
Yeah.
stuff that you've had.
The world. What was the question? Do I like it? Am I liking
Are
it?
you pleased to see people finally getting their hands on them and seemingly enjoying them as well?
I think so. I mean, there's still a lot of negativity, and it feels like it is overwhelmingly negative online at the moment. But yeah, I think for the most part, people are enjoying it that have it, which is the main thing, really. It's cool to see.
Well, James, you and I hadn't had any opportunity to like hold the thing until we had our own unit. What were your first impressions of the device itself?
It's way better. I think like physically to feel and hold, it is definitely like a bit more primo feeling.
Yeah, for sure. That was the first thing that like the build quality just feels so much better. Like all the metal work and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and when it's all
so
together,
much
it
nicer.
just feels like together. Because I feel like the Switch 1, the rails just constantly are like shaky.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the Joy-Cons feel like way more solid on there, don't they? Yeah, no, I was very impressed with that, and the screen as well, which has like been a big talking point too, I suppose, not being an OLED, having come from like a launch day Nintendo Switch. I thought the screen looks fantastic. Like it's way brighter, it's obviously way bigger. But yeah, like I think the brightness of the screen and probably the high resolution felt like large enough a jump in my mind. Maybe I'd have been like a bit spoiled had I had an OLED.
Yeah,
but
I need to do some. I haven't really like put them side by side or anything because I've purely either been making content or just enjoying playing. But like, I definitely, it's not an OLED. Like, it's a great LCD screen, but there are times where it's not as vibrant or like the black sun is black. Like it, yeah. But it's a good LCD.
Yeah. And how are you guys finding the battery life so far? We've also been putting it through its paces. Are you pleased with how it's holding up, or?
That's for me. Like that's the only thing I would say is not the best. But for me, like I've been playing it kind of while doing other things. So for me, I mainly play at home. Is what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
that for me won't be as much of an issue. But I think a lot of people who use it portably a lot will notice the difference. It feels very much like launch Switch.
I will say though, like with what they've done in terms of the size and the skinniness of it, like the battery is like a quarter of the size of the one in the ROG Ally X, and like it lasts longer for like Cyberpunk. So it's like very impressive how powerful it is given like the low wattage that it's running in handheld mode. So they've done well with what they've had to work with.
I've been playing quite a bit of Cyberpunk on it, and like I've not had a stopwatch running, but I feel like I've got like a couple of hours of like pretty solid play out of it before it's kind of needed some more juice.
I
think it's
that's
pretty
fine.
good going, really, for a game like that intensive. And might I say, Cyberpunk looks incredible on it, and I think like it's a good. The way they've adopted all the different controller schemes as well is really quite impressive. I was kind of undecided as to which was the best way to play it, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to say like most of the Windows handhelds are like 40 to 50 minutes, which like, as soon as you turn it on, that like you can see the battery ticking down. I don't feel that with this. Like it is, you can see it ticking down faster than the Switch one, but it's fine. And yeah, Cyberpunk, I only played it handheld for the first time today after going hands-on in TV mode at both events, and it's just impressive. Like the way it uses everything even better than like Nintendo games is just, they've done really, really well with that, and that's definitely the benchmark going forward for AAA.
Yeah, I was showing James as well the fact that it's got different graphical settings too. Like you can have a quality mode or you can have a performance mode too. And truthfully, I was playing on performance. Like I thought it looked fantastic, even a little lower res to get that sort of 60 frames. So
yeah,
it
looks great.
It's an excellent.
I really thought it would be like you'd notice a big difference, and like you do notice a slight difference, but like it's not to the point that you're like, wow, this feels like it's compromised, like The Witcher was on the original Switch, for instance. Yeah. It's great.
Brady, what about you? What's your first weekend with the Switch been like? What have you been playing?
Yeah, pretty much just been trying to finish up, obviously, Welcome Tour and Mario Kart, which the full reviews are out for those now. I've also tucked into a little bit of Cyberpunk. I played a little bit of that today. And I've gone back to play Mario Wonder because I really didn't play it on the original Switch at all. I played maybe the first world and then I sort of bounced out. So sort of good to go back and play that. So I'm having fun like loading up all these virtual cards, but I haven't really tucked into a heap of them yet. But yeah, to just echo basically what everyone has said, like I'm pretty impressed with it. Like it's what I wanted. It's basically a more improved, better version of the Switch. Basically, like they haven't messed with the thing that they had. They haven't thrown the baby out with the bathwater and done something silly. And, got rid of all that goodwill. They've actually, doubled down on it, and I think it's it's a handy little console.
Yeah, it's kind of gone everywhere with me the last few days. Even whilst I've like been around seeing family or whatever, it's been like a long weekend here in Melbourne as well. It's kind of come with me and my mum especially, like been comparing notes, and she was showing me Survival Kids running on it, and then I was showing her Cyberpunk. So it's been a ton of fun. James, what did you make of Mario Kart? We managed to play a little bit of that together over the weekend as well.
Yeah, it's good. I didn't like Mario Kart historically because I thought I was bad at it, but then I played with you guys and I realized I wasn't so bad.
Oh, okay.
Same.
I think we had some competitive races. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy it more than other Mario Kart games, put it that way.
Yeah. It was a bit of fun with the game chat functionality in the Switch too. Like we had our cameras on and we were watching each other kind of zip past and
I think game chat
shell each other.
On that, game chat is genuinely quite good. I think it is a really fun way to kind of make online just a little bit more social. Like I'm sure you wouldn't want to do it all the time. But I can see, especially with Mario Party, when you can't get everyone in the same room, to have everyone like still like there is kind of, I can see the potential for it already. I think it's a really like nice twist on something that a lot of people are saying every other console has that, but like not like this, you know?
No, I agree. I think it's more of the novelty. It does feel like something developed in COVID, and I kind of wish it did exist when COVID was around. We were all in lockdown. Because it's almost like you're streaming to one another, right? Like you can see someone's camera icon, assuming they got a camera connected, and you can see their gameplay, albeit very kind of choppy, low frame rate. But yeah, the fact that that's all kind of happening on screen whilst you see your game, I think is pretty neat. And I like this kind of different presentation options. Like you can kind of have your screen a bit smaller and your friends larger, this kind of an in-between step, and then you can have your gameplay full screen and not see your friends at all, other than how they're like presented in-game, like above their Mario Kart or something like that. But yeah, I think it's implemented pretty well. My only annoyance with it is I think it's a bit fiddly to navigate through all the settings and like change how it's presented on screen. It'd be nice if there was some like hotkeys or something for that, so you could like quickly pop up your friends and then go back to full screen or something like that. But I reckon we'll see those software updates kind of come in time, and it will gradually become a better experience as we go. Did you enjoy the game chat functionality, Shannon? You were taking part in that too.
Yeah, I like how easy it is to just sort of jump in and get it going. And like the voice chat just works from the console. I think, except for like the first 15 minutes when we played the first time, like I was just using the console mic, which obviously like is at my TV. And to my knowledge, it still worked perfectly. And I do think that is just the way people are going to use it is how easy it is to get into it. I think there is like a few little Nintendo quirks in terms of like not being able to add people once you've kicked it off and things like that. But as a starting point, I think it works super well. And I hope they build on it because I do think they could do some really cool stuff with gameplay. And like there's game share type stuff that I don't think any of us have tried, like that they've added to existing games and new games where you like in-game chat and then you can, I guess Mario Kart was an example of that. But yeah, like Mario Odyssey, you can now control Cappy whilst in game chat. So I think there's going to be some really fun stuff that Nintendo do with that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm eager to see how our thoughts on the console kind of change and evolve over time. And obviously this is just the start of a new Nintendo generation. But yeah, I'm very happy with it so far and excited to see where it goes. For now, though, let's talk about Summer Game Fest and the week of announcements that was, and kind of still ongoing. I feel like there might be a showcase or still to happen, remembering the calendar. But the weekend of announcements kicked off with a surprise PlayStation State of Play last week, but included Summer Game Fest showcase and Xbox showcases as well, of course. And including some Australian and New Zealand representation at the Frosty Games Showcase too, which I thought was cool to see. Brody, first to you. We tuned in for a fair few of them. Which showcase stole the show in your mind? Which was the best of the bunch?
Yeah, I don't know that any really stole the show. Like, I think all of them for me had, bits and pieces that I really liked, but I don't know if there's necessarily a standout. I think if I had to pick one just that speaks to me more on the whole, it would probably still be Xbox. There was a boatload of filler in there, I think, still, but there was a lot of cool games there that were announced that do speak to me. So I think of the lot, I'd say Xbox. Yeah.
Do you think it kind of addressed the concerns we've shared on the podcast before about what the latter half of this year looks like for Xbox? Are you now more comfortable what the rest of 2025 looks like?
Not necessarily, no. I'm pretty excited for 2026. I can tell you that. But look, I still can't really think of what their back half of the year would look like. I mean, they've got Gears in August. I think it's suggested that COD is this year, but I don't know if I've seen that confirmed anywhere. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like their first party output, it was definitely front ended this year, I would say. So it's a shame that the back end is going to be a bit quieter, but I mean, it's just a good time to catch up, I suppose.
Yeah. I saw you kind of shaking your head there, James, when I asked if they've addressed what 2025 looks like. Was that a little bit of a downer for the showcase for you?
Yes. Sorry.
The pregnant pause.
No, I don't know. I thought it was really average. At first I loved that they were showing gameplay. Like, it was all their stuff was gameplay, no matter how rough it looked. I really, really commend them for that. But yeah, surprisingly, besides one obvious announcement at Summer Games Fest, I genuinely think that the PlayStation presentation was the best one. Just had a nicer range of games. I just didn't. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I think with Xbox, there's just so many projects they've had in the works for so long now, like Everwild and Contraband and the State of Decay 3 and Perfect Dark. Fable is meant to be out next year. I just don't know where everything is. And to end with COD, I get it. It is
in kind of an awkward way too, right? It just wasn't, it didn't feel like a typical COD trailer.
It was also how they led into it as well, by teasing next year. And obviously they were teasing Halo and then they went into COD.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have loved to have seen. I don't know what I would love to have seen that would have been better, but I just didn't find it as. I feel like Xbox normally has pretty good ones, but this time I just didn't feel that at all.
I think we have to expect that they're going to get into this sort of cycle, though, with as many IP and properties as they have. You're not going to see Fable 2 years in a row. I think it's going to be hey, we'll show you 1 year, we'll take a couple years off it, and then
I understand that.
I feel like Fable should be now. It should
Fable
be
is
soon.
a year away.
I honestly think we'll probably get more of Fable at Game Awards or something, and that's when we'll get the date and all that.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just sick of being next year looks good for Xbox. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
I think we have to even if there's a bit of a quiet latter half of this year, 2025 has still been good for Xbox.
The first half was good. Yeah, 100%. I was literally about to say that. But
Yeah.
To answer your question,
I think even
you were
if
like,
the year ended
second
now,
half?
we could still take it as being pretty strong. And we've got like a handheld coming out later this year, which granted
Hollow
isn't
Knight.
a game, but yeah, and with Hollow Knight, I guess.
Even that was really odd because like why would you have that be the main thing in the handheld and then Sarah Bond talk about it, but it just not be there? I just don't understand what would even lead to that happening.
I'm just really puzzled about Hollow Knight entirely because it's like everyone was like talking about it, but it like didn't show up basically. Like there was no, unless something's still to happen or they've got some, I don't know.
Well, I think
Like
it's going to be in the Nintendo Direct, but then again,
Yeah.
Xbox chose to make it like the hero of this thing, so I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's almost like the Nintendo Direct was meant to have happened already, and it was like meant to have a release date and a proper unveiling and stuff. But it's not. Yeah, I don't know where I come down on the showcases. Maybe Summer Game Fest. Like I thought it was a pretty kind of weak Summer Game Fest showcase, like compared to previous years,
Agree.
which. Like I'm not knocking it for necessarily, like it's not always going to be able to be as good as it was the previous year or whatever. It's really just dependent on where games are at in the release cycles and who's prepared to talk about what. But despite it being one of the weaker ones, I think it still had the most kind of games and announcements that personally sort of spoke to me. And I came away from that showcase with a bunch of new games for my wish list, which is kind of what I hope to get out of a weekend such as this. So, yeah, that was probably the strongest of the bunch for me. Did you share yours, Shannon? Was there one that rose above?
Not really. I'll be honest. Like they were all pretty average this year. I don't know if it's just because I kind of wanted to be doing Switch 2 stuff. Like I feel like that probably did play a little part of it. Like there were moments in all of them. I think the Summer Game Fest one was the worst just because it went for 2 hours and it felt like it could have been 15 minutes. In terms of length. And like James said, the state of play was at least like 40 minutes. The Xbox one was an hour. I felt like the Xbox one was weird how it just wrapped up. Like we were waiting for more. Yeah, just a weird season. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think we've just kind of fallen into like a quieter patch of the year, which maybe if we consider like we're halfway through the current console generation, maybe that's like pretty true to form. There's a bit of a
maybe
of a lull in the middle.
The Xbox though, like you choose to have it. Like I feel like Jeff kind of has to have his because like he can't lose that spot. But like everyone else, they're choosing to put these on, right? So like you've either got the stuff, like even the Bethesda stuff. Like, do we need to see Fallout 76 and the Elder Scrolls Online? Like it have a big Bethesda presents intro to those. I just don't think that's how you do it.
Yeah, I think we just kind of know to expect those at this point.
Yeah, but yeah.
And I think there was still some very big announcements in the Xbox
Yeah,
showcase.
there was.
Maybe
No, it was never going to be as good as last year because that was like wall to wall big stuff. I do think like State of Decay 3, like that was the first game they announced, and there's just been nothing on it ever. So like stuff like that, if we're not seeing it, it has to be worrying. I think
I do want to get to our
Nothing on it ever. We
predictions
saw
at
it
some
last
point,
year.
but
what, Brody?
did we?
Like, didn't we see State of Decay last year?
But it was announced 6 years ago.
but you
Like,
just said
where
we
is
never
it?
see it. Like, pick a lane, bro.
But I want to see it, and like, there's the release date, and it's coming out. Like, I don't want to see it every 2 years at this point.
Yeah, we've been spoiled. You're being spoiled.
I don't think we've been spoiled for State of Decay 3.
don't-
Like that, you announce that, and then you put it out. You don't tease it for 7 years.
I have to say I'm with Shannon
I'd
here.
say they're not
Like,
teasing
I
it. They're
think
not teasing
there's
it at
just
all.
some of these that you don't want to rush a game, but it's like this game kind of should be seeing the light of day now, or should we have a pretty clear idea where this is?
You could throw a stone and say that about any of these games, though. Like, Everwild should have been
I
out.
really
Yeah,
hope
Everwild
like
should sure
E-Day,
include in that camp. Yeah.
and like E-Day, like I'm expecting that like next year, but my sense is that it's going to be like 3 years away now, just based on what we've seen from Xbox.
They said next
I
year.
think, like, on the other side of things, like, say, Clockwork Revolution, that was revealed last year, and we've now got full gameplay for it a year later. Like, I feel like that pipeline, to me, is a lot more, like, that promotional pipeline is more...
And it looked really good as
realistic and
Yeah.
attainable, like, than, say, State of Decay, as an example, or
That was
Everwild.
I found that
Yeah.
a strange showcase though as well. Like the Clockwork Revolution part
It
particularly.
was
Like, it looks
6
great,
minutes
Long.
or something.
but it was like
Yeah.
a long showing for a game that they still haven't put a date on. Like, it's really strange.
Well,
That's
in
why
2
I
years,
thought-
we can expect to see it again going off Brody's
And then, yeah, you'll see
prediction.
a trailer, and then we'll never hear about it again. And then, yeah.
I
don't
do
know.
think Xbox is more I do think like there was a point where they decided to announce everything because they had nothing, and I think that's changing now, like Grounded 2 and stuff.
This isn't just an Xbox thing as well. Like PlayStation, if anyone, probably started this trend, right? Like how many years went by before we were like, when is the Last Guardian like ever gonna?
No,
when are we
that's
ever gonna see
like
that
one
again?
That's
example.
not the same
That's
thing.
so
But
like
like-
Ghost of
like-
Yotei we had and Ragnarok, and we all said it wasn't coming, and then they just dropped the date and it was out
Yeah,
a few
but
months
like,
later.
we do get trailers for games that then kind of go quiet for
Where's
a
Wolverine?
long time. Maybe not as long as some of these Xbox games have happened. Like I mean, Wolverine. Like you could kind of say, where was the Wolverine trailer this year or whatever? Like there's a few games in that sort of camp.
But I
perhaps,
think
so-
what Shannon is trying to say is so when they bring back Wolverine next, right? We'll see gameplay
Yeah.
and probably have a date. We won't
probably
just
get
get
a release date.
another
Yeah.
3-minute trailer and then nothing. Like
Yeah.
radio silence again. Like sure,
That's-
yes, there is
yeah.
a gap between the initial announcement and whatever. But like
Yeah.
I feel like especially
I
with Yotai, it was the same. Like we had an announcement
Yeah.
and then something later and then a date. Like it just happens.
I
There's, like, a
don't want to
good
be
cadence.
super down on Xbox because I do think it's
I
been
do.
better, a lot better. Like I know that was ending on the like next year is going to be a big year, but like there's been a lot more from them, and like they are doing a lot of great things with Game Pass. Like when you look at the list of like Ninja Gaiden, the Artable, like there's a lot of good games still this year. I think it's just their big games where there's still an issue with the marketing of them, and they just go missing for years and years, and then kind of just come out with no marketing,
Yeah.
and that's an issue.
Well, let's get stuck into some of the specific games. We've already touched on a few there, I suppose, but I reckon it's worthwhile getting into some of the weeds. And because Xbox had some pretty heavy hitters in there. I personally was like very excited to see Grounded 2 coming into early access this year. I loved Grounded, so to see that coming. And I thought like, although I've played them, obviously it's great for the Final Fantasy games to be coming over to Xbox. I thought the Invincible Versus announcement was pretty huge deal for them too, as well, as was Persona 4 Revival as well. So like, I think they had a stack of good announcements in there. James, was there any announcements from the Xbox Showcase or like more generally that particularly resonated with you?
Are we just talking Xbox?
You can start with Xbox. Yeah, let's start with Xbox.
Okay.
Where
There
was
a few
State of
there.
Decay?
We can delay you talking about Resident Evil 9 a little bit.
I'm just having a quick scroll. I think Persona is cool, but that was weird. Like I don't know what happened there because that's been in development for ages apparently, and then we got that really random, short-lived teaser.
Yeah. I took from that teaser this game still has a long way to go.
Yeah, which is like odd.
They
because
showed
also,
like 3 or 4 shots of gameplay.
Persona 6 is
Yeah.
also meant to be close, so I'm not too sure what the goal is there, but whatever.
Yeah.
I actually really, even though it does look rough, but I can see the vision, is Blood of Dawnwalker, the ex CD Projekt Red People's game. I think that conceptually looks really interesting, and I know it's not like this massive open world RPG, it's like this kind of like AA. I think it's like a day system or something from memory. Like you have to, but that looks really good. Ninja Gaiden does look good, but revisiting that with Ninja Gaiden 2, I don't know if I still like those games, so I'm still gonna obviously try it. But I liked that. I think the big one for me is probably Chronos. I think the gameplay for Chronos looks really good. I'm still skeptical as to whether they can pull it off. But like I think it's really cool, and it's great to know that it's still coming this year. I really thought that would slip, but it doesn't seem to be, which is really good. So there's like others, but I feel like I'm saying too many. But
Chronos looked good. I thought you might have mentioned Aphelion. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The new Don't Nod game. Just because I know you and I really liked Banishers, and this kind of felt like a game of that ilk from Don't Nod.
I don't see that personally.
Albeit a
but
very...
I'm happy.
Well,
to
like
be
it's a
proven
very
wrong.
different vibe
Yeah.
genre, but at the
Yes.
it's more of like it's kind of more of that heavy character focused narrative kind of
that's
game
what they do.
that Banishers was versus, but like from a third person. Someone help me out here. Third person, like it's more that than it is Life is Strange, right? Like
It's an action game, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Like, I don't.
What about yourself, Brody? What stood out to you in Xbox? If we start there,
I just love, just if I could go back 10 seconds, I love how carefully you said the word ilk. Just so
I was hoping you would notice that.
so carefully.
I was like, it's not elk, it's ilk.
Indeed. Look, a couple that stuck out to me, and like obviously these are like one in particular is very Brody coded. It's the sequel to Planet of Lana. I really liked the first game quite a bit. This one looks quite good, but the only thing that concerns me is like they've scoped up and it's like double the size of the first one, which I don't know that I necessarily want. I think the first one was pretty well paced, so I guess we'll see what happens there. Mudang Two Hearts looks interesting. Like a combination of like stealth and obviously shooty parts. It looks like almost like a Splinter Cell game, but like obviously with a very unique setting. Like I think it's South Korea on the verge of reunifying with North Korea, and you protect a K-pop star like throughout this big conspiracy thing. Like it sounds very. It's a very cool conceit.
It's very Metal Gear Solid inspired, apparently, according to the devs. So
yeah, well, there's
exciting.
nothing wrong with that. And then obviously the big one that probably jazzed me quite a bit would be Double Fine's next game, Keeper.
Yeah,
which coming this year, very cool. It's not what I thought. All the rumors suggested they were working on something else, but obviously there may be sort of like DNA throughout for this, and it's a very, very cool idea. It sounds like it's going to be like one of these big feels games. So again, speaks to me. So yeah.
I think for Double Fine, they must have two projects, right? Because I feel like they made a very big deal about how this wasn't Tim Schafer's game; it was like the other guy.
True.
Lee Petty, I think.
Lee Petty, yeah.
Lee Petty. So yeah, I don't know, but
maybe
they have a history of
Brutal
kind of like
Legend 2.
working on multiple projects simultaneously, right? Having some overlap between them at least. I think Double Fine like continued to kind of amaze me with just how creative their games always are. There's maybe always a bit of like kind of some hallmark Double Fine traits to them. But yeah, it's cool to see them continually like exploring new IPs, and this looks really quite unique. I encourage you to watch the trailer if you've not already. What about yourself, Shannon? Was there anything from Xbox's showcase that particularly grabbed you that we've not yet mentioned?
I think everyone's kind of touched on the main things. I'm keen to play Gears of War again. I love Gears, so I'm keen to jump on that, probably on PS5 or Switch 2 if we ever get that. Grounded 2, I remember having a bit of fun in that, so it was cool to see another game from Obsidian. That was early access, like next month-ish from memory, wasn't it? Or in the next month or two?
Next month,
Keeper looked really good, just from like an art point of view. That was kind of it, to be honest.
Just to shout out another couple. My mum's very excited about Resonance of Plague Tale Legacy. Spoken about her a lot today. She's getting lots of shout outs, but she loves those games. So I was excited to see that, albeit it did leak early. I also thought it was cool to see some of Game Freak's game as well.
Oh yeah, that one was cool. I'm loving all the memes.
But yeah, that looks really quite cool and obviously very different for what we know Game Freak for with the Pokemon games. And Indiana Jones getting some DLC. I thought that was great as well. I really enjoyed Indiana Jones. It kind of a bit of like awkwardly placed in terms of the Game of the Year discussion, because I think it was like technically released very late last year, but maybe in contention for the Game Awards this year, if I'm not mistaken. But in my mind, it was really great game. That's kind of I'm pleased that I get to dive back into that. And Meat Boy as well, having a 3D Super Meat Boy 3D getting announced, very very cool. That was what my brother was messaging me about this morning. He was like, "Holy shit, Super Meat Boy 3D." That is my jam. But yeah, I think it was well and truly covered off everything Xbox there. We spoke a little bit about PlayStation in their showcase. Obviously, there were a bunch more. James, over the rest of the weekend, what else did you want to shout out? What other games were you loving the look of?
I'm keen for Bond. I don't like the name, but I'm like super keen to try that.
007 First Light, is that what it's called from memory?
It just sounds like... isn't that an infamous game as well? Like I feel like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Literally pick anything else. Like, I don't know. new shine or something. I don't know. No, that sounds shit. But
That sounds like he's just bought a new pair of shoes. Like, I don't know about that.
maybe he does. That can be the story. I'm excited to see more of Silent Hill and to confirm it's out this year. The last
How
trailer.
good did that trailer look? It looked awesome.
Why are you skeptical it's not out this year?
I didn't think it was out this year, but they've dated it now. So
They have. It
Yes,
just sounded
well,
like
thank
you had some insider.
It might
No,
still be slipping, maybe.
no, I think you're missing the timeline of my talk. I don't know. I think you misunderstood my tense. But yeah, I
Wouldn't be the
actually
first time.
as much as I enjoyed that trailer, I don't think it looks that scary.
What?
I know.
Get
I
out of
don't know.
town.
Nah, I don't know. I don't.
You're
Dolls
just
don't.
too seasoned.
No, that's not true. Like SH2 remake, I remember, but actually, I felt the same about that too. I thought that didn't look scary, and that game scared me more than I thought it would. So
Oh man, I'm still yet to finish it. I just can't bring myself to.
yeah, I'm keen to play it. I'm like excited to play it. I'm excited that I get to play it soonish. So yeah, like that's exciting in a way, but I'm still skeptical. I'm not sure if they can pull off an original game these days, but we'll see. I'm just scrolling through the Sony one at the moment. Someone else talk about Sony.
Shannon, what else? What other games stood out to you? While James works his way through the PlayStation list, he's still yet to mention Resident Evil. It's amazing that
He's waiting
not.
for it. He figures it's got its own
He's waiting
topic.
for it.
Oh, hang on, James. Let me prompt you. What about Romeo's a Dead Man? I thought that looked sick.
Yeah, that is cool. That is very cool.
It was.
I
James,
love
continue.
I love No More Heroes and Shadows of the Damned and pretty much everything that Suda does. So
Yeah.
the fact that he's got a new game coming is great.
Yeah, they've never really appealed to me, although they may well be up my street.
Ali.
Up my alley, even. But yeah, Romeo's a Dead Man. Like, I think just kind of more the gameplay of it kind of spoke to me. So this might be my first Suda 51 game.
What about... What did y'all feel about this Marvel fighting game that they ended their show with? Like, what are... Like,
I'm
people who
I'm
don't
not the
play
audience.
fighters, what do you... Yeah,
I'm not
like,
the audience. For
Yeah,
it.
I'm not the
Yeah,
audience either.
and that's
I'm
not going to change it.
I was the same with Invincible Versus. I was like, holy shit, this looks mad. And then I'm like, oh, it's a fighting game. I'm never going to play it. I'm just not a fighting game guy. It's just not a genre that speaks to me.
I feel like this
but
means
really
there's
cool.
no Marvel vs. Capcom 5 coming ever. Like, this seems to be the commitment now, because you're not going to have two tag fighters at once, right?
I feel like that was always going to be a stretch, wasn't it? Just from
All of the stars were aligning, but now, like, a comet has
it's
come
over.
by. A
Yeah,
sweet comet
a
has
black
come by.
hole has sucked it
Yeah.
all up and
Yeah.
spat this out.
I wonder if modern day Marvel are all that interested in that kind of a game. Maybe they just want their
It's just
IP
the
to
world
That's what
just
this
feel
is.
totally different. I think
I
now.
It's disappointing, don't get me wrong, but yeah.
I don't know about this, to be honest. And then
Oh,
actually,
really?
speaking of I don't know about this, what are our thoughts on Pragmata?
That's what I was going to call out. You've just taken the words
The big re
out of my mouth. I think it looks good. And like reading about the
Yeah.
gameplay and how you control both players sort of separately, I think there's going to be a cool gameplay element to it that's unlike anything Capcom have done. So that's nice.
It's definitely on my radar for sure. I thought the trailer looked really cool. I'm eager to
I'm shocked it's
eager to
back,
see more.
to be honest, but I'm glad.
I thought it was going to be like Deep Down on the PS3. Like,
Yeah.
just forget
Yeah.
about it and cancel it. But
This was the kind of joke that they even made in the trailer, right? Like 2026, like, sorry, yes, it's real, or something like that was on the final slide. I thought it looked cool. It kind of gave me, I don't know, like a bit of Dead Space
oh no,
kind of vibes,
stop.
albeit very...
Not at all. Like, what are you talking about?
It's not horror, but like it's
It just looks
just like the gameplay of it looks
That
kind
is a
of
like a-
third-person shooter.
yeah.
in space.
That's
Sci-fi.
I think
It's the first thing that's springing in my head.
her voice is so annoying. Like, if that's going to be yapping at you the whole game, like, I think I'm out. Like, I don't know. Like,
Clip that.
Just
Like-
play it on mute.
yeah. But no, I don't want to do that either. But this looks like a game that should have been like a launch title for like new gen or something. Do you know what I mean? Like Cool Tech or some shit. Like, it looks simple, and there's not much to it. And it's
I don't
made
know. I
by-
feel like it's early days.
It's not
I thought
early
it was a
days.
strong
It's been
enough
like
showing
4
to
years.
see.
It's the
I feel like
opposite of early days.
we're gonna see much more of this game though. Like, I want to see more gameplay before I can like properly make an assessment of that.
I think just because I feel like Capcom wouldn't release something if they didn't really think it was great. So I believe in them, even if you're letting your belief go.
Yeah, where does the sudden Capcom doubt come from, James? Like, you're
100%.
usually banging on about how
I
great
just
they are
ask-
and they're
I
just
just
doing
said
everything
I-
right at the moment.
Can I just ask? I literally just said I didn't like look for Pragmata. Like, how is that Capcom doubt?
Because you're doubting them.
I'm just surprised you're as skeptical in this game as you
I'm not
you
going
are.
to sit here and glaze everything they put out, even if it's like.
But speaking of,
What have you been doing for the last decade? No, I think it looks good. I'm actually keen for it.
I don't. So
Yeah.
like, I'm happy to be proven
okay,
wrong.
wow.
I guess I'm just disappointed that I'm excited about a Capcom game and you're not
Yeah,
sharing
I
that
know.
excitement with me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, I'm sure there's others in the Summer Games Fest presentation that we can share excitement about.
There very much is. Before we get there, though, Brody, we've been focusing in on the PlayStation showcase or the state of play. Was there anything from there you wanted to call out?
probably the only thing that jumped out at me that
Can.
sorry.
Luminous.
Yeah, Luminous is the one that would jump out at me. From the Tetris Effect team. That's what are we laughing at?
We were laughing. He was laughing at Can.
Yeah, I said can. The real-time gameplay.
The climbing
if
game,
you believe
real-time.
it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, what the fuck
The
are we
rock
talking
climbing
about?
game.
It's a plug-in joke.
Yeah. So anyway, Luminous Arise. I've never played a Luminous game. I only learnt that's how you say it. Like about 2 days ago, I thought it was like Lumines. I'll pretty much back in anything that the Tetris Effect team does now. Like that game was so phenomenal. So I'm happy to fall in love with Luminous when the game releases this year. I might even play it in PSVR. Dust off that old boy.
Huge.
Yeah, if true.
I can't wait to see if that actually eventuates. All right, James, should we talk about Summer Game Fest showcase now and the big announcement that was in there that you no doubt very excited for?
Yeah.
Or do we just need to do another podcast about Resident Evil 9?
We should all just
can do
leave
a
and let
proper-
James just do a monologue for the next hour.
Let him have the room.
No, can I? No. I just before we get to that, I thought the Onimusha trailer looked really good. I wanted to know,
Yeah.
like you, and since you've played them, what did you think of that?
Well, just Warlords. But yes.
Whatever, but you've played something. I'll take anything.
Yeah,
to
I think
support
it
this
looks really cool. Like, I think we were in the Discord chatting as we were watching the showcase, and yeah, I was like, it looks like all of the kind of enemies and kind of boss fights and stuff that I remember from Warlords. Obviously, just like catching up with current day graphics and game design. But yeah, I think it looks really, really cool. I can't wait to play it, and I feel like I need to get on and play Onimusha 2 before it eventuates.
And just before we get to Resident Evil, the one game from this showcase that I'd want to shout out
Is it three layers?
is Ill.
Yeah,
Like
I
this,
was about to say that too.
yeah, really gory, very realistic looking survival horror shooter. It looks genuinely horrifying. But I think it's going to be like the horror shooter that I hoped Scorn might be. Like with all like the body horror and all that sort of stuff. So, one that I'll be watching eagerly.
I would like to award Ill the most aptly named game of the weekend because
about
it
Felt
genuinely
That
made
Boxing?
me feel ill. Felt that box. Okay, maybe that's a strong contender as well.
That's up there.
But yeah, ill is like the best way to describe this game, I think. There were plenty more in the showcase though that I want to mention. I don't want to spend the rest of the show just talking about Resident Evil.
Oh, why?
Like Mortal Shell 2 I thought was cool. That made its way onto my list. Code Vein 2 as well. Like Code Vein's obviously not a game I've played before, but seeing the gameplay for Code Vein 2, I thought the character designs looked really cool too. So that was one that jumped out to me as well. Atomic Heart, I was a bit surprised to see that get a sequel.
2 projects.
Yeah, 2 projects. What was that? The Cube was the other one they talked about, which is like in the same universe.
Multiplayer shooter,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mio, Memories in Orbit, like a Metroidvania game, side-scrolling one, very up my Ally at the moment. That made its way into my Steam wish list. I feel like there's a couple of others I'm failing to mention there. Dying Light: The Beast. Glad to see that get a release date too.
When is that?
August.
August 22nd. Yeah. Annoyingly, whilst I'm away on my holiday, but I'll be back pretty soon thereafter, so I'll be able to get to that.
Can we talk about how fucking quickly the Yakuza team shit out these games?
Yes.
They should
I
teach
thought
Xbox
this
something.
looked good though. Strange.
It does. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it
I don't
does
know how
look
they
good.
do it. Kind of like Obsidian with Xbox. Like, they've got 3 games launching this year, and I'm like, how are they doing this shit?
But I
Yeah,
think
this is
wasn't
Stranger
last-
Than Heaven, you mean, yeah? The
Yes, yeah.
1943 kind of detective.
But the
in
last
Japan
trailer
game.
was like 1913. So like I think it's
Oh.
going to jump across because it was called Project Sentry or something. So
Over
I
100
think
years,
gonna,
it's a timey-wimey
jump
game.
across different time periods or something, which I think is really interesting. And the vibes are just really cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking at there was something else I was going to bring up, but now I can't remember. Keep talking.
There's so many games
Scott
like...
Pilgrim. Surely there's a Scott Pilgrim fan in there.
Nah.
No. Wow.
I thought the
When I was,
Sonic
like,
Racing
4.
Crossworlds presentation was great as well. Like, it's I've very much got another kart racer on my mind right now, but for Minecraft to be included as part of this crossworld situation
bit
they got
random.
going on is
And Miku.
pretty nuts.
There's also...
What's that, sorry?
Hatsune Miku's in it too.
Right, yeah.
There's just two
pretty
other
stacked.
games. 2 other games that I wouldn't mind shouting out from the Future Game Show, which no one watched. So, a couple of games that you should
Big.
probably go check out. One's called Crisol, Theatre of Idols, which is like a Bioshock cross Resident Evil sort of game, and it's coming from Blumhouse Games. So I reckon check the trailer out for that. That looks hot. And another one would be a game called like Tenet of the Spark, which looks to me like an era-hopping Sifu-like. Like, it's kind of like Sifu, but like you play... Like through the Viking Age, you play through like modern age and stuff like that. It's an interesting looking game. So check out both of those, I would say.
Okay. I'm looking at Crisol Theatre of Idols at the moment, and it looks
First
properly
one,
spooky.
The first one looks good. The second one, no sparks from me.
Okay. Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Sparks. It's not sparking joy.
No, there's-
I was just pulling up my wish list because I feel like I added an absolute boatload in there recently.
Did you hear
that I
about the
wanted
new...
to shout out? Arc Raiders, I think, is looking continuing to
That's
look
meant
pretty
to
cool.
be really good. I think it's also like funny. Not I wouldn't want to say funny, but like it seems to be getting a lot of the praise that I think Marathon was going to get.
Yeah, I sort of feel like it could out marathon.
Yeah, I know.
if,
they're probably,
if they're not
the
careful.
same? Are they remotely the same beyond the fact they're multiplayer games? Like
I think they're both extraction shooters,
they're
aren't they?
both extractions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're both third person. Well, sorry, no.
I just haven't heard a
Shooter.
single bad thing about
Extraction
Ark
shooters.
from like anybody who's played it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I thought Into the Unwell also looked really cool. That was another
yeah.
one that's on my list.
I'll give you that.
I failed to mention a couple of crucial ones here. Lego Voyages, the cooperative kind of like spiritual successor to Builder's Journey, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, I gave a 10 out of 10. I freaking loved Builder's Journey. Then again, I am a massive Lego fan, so bear that in mind. But yeah, Lego Voyages, basically that, but cooperative, very, very cool. And Blighted as well was another one I wanted to shout out because I'm a big Drinkbox Studio fan, and this looks like they're a take on like a Hades kind of style game, albeit not a roguelike. I don't think it's a roguelike. 3D action RPG. There you go. So a couple there I wanted to sneak in. Big Walk 2. I don't know if you guys ended up watching the trailer for that. But that's the new game from House, so the makers of Untitled Goose Game. And we've seen it before, but this was a deeper sort of dive, and it could not be a more different game to Untitled Goose Game. It's really about like walking and exploring the bush with like proximity chat with your friends. So it's like trying to not get separated and communicate with each other when you inevitably do. It's a what?
Strand game, it sounds like.
Kind of, maybe there is a bit of that.
Finally,
too.
we're seeing the fruits of the Strand genre.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Anyone else, or do we just let James waffle on about?
anyone a
Listen,
spec-
never
Mouse.
mind now.
I want to call out Mouse PI. I don't think
God,
anyone else
relax.
has yet.
Oh yeah.
Aussie game, another Aussie game, looks great. Troy Baker has made his way into it. It's looking good. And I've got it in fact.
He's found his way
He's
there.
in everything. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And I've got
drifted
it in
in.
Game Critic, so it's going to be a 10,
Is
maybe.
anyone here
Yeah.
a Spec Ops: The Line fan by chance?
Yes, I did enjoy
Conceptually,
Spec Ops: The Line.
yes.
There's a new game from like the director of that game called Sleep Awake, and it's a psychological horror game. So also check out the trailer for that. That's also
wait,
this
is
It's kind of the
Um,
best bit of Spec Ops: The
What's
Line.
the developer called? Is this the Moon people?
Oh, it's a great question. I just know. Yeah, look,
There's-
I'll
I
come
think
back to you on
it's
that.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say that game was called?
Sleep Awake.
Sleep Awake.
It's about Corey. Eyes Out is the developer.
Oh, okay. I'm getting the confused.
Right. Oh, it's another Blumhouse game. They're kind of crushing it, huh?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
their first game was really good. I enjoyed that.
Fear the Spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a stack on the way now as well. It's very impressive. Speaking horror games, though, there's one that was probably one of the biggest announcements of the weekend. And that
Can
was
we-
Resident Evil.
Death Ground.
Can we
Death Ground.
talk about the way it was announced first? Because I feel like that deserves a
Oh,
conversation.
that's very true. I'd almost forgotten about how they did that. Yeah, they kind of like
So there was
'Cause I
three-
hated
walk
it.
us through
so
it, James.
It basically had 3 slots. They got Maggie Robinson
Yeah.
back in because she plays Lady D, right, in Village, to introduce the fact that there's a sale on for Resident
There was a
Evil
Capcom
games.
sale.
And I was like, is that fucking it? Like, are they for real? And then, like, about halfway through, they come back and they're like, we've got a special message. And it's like John Takuchi, who's, like, been with the series, like, forever. And he's talking about how
Yeah.
great the series is and how it turns 30 next year. And
Yeah.
thanks, but Resi 9's a little bit further away. And then I was just like, at that point, I was just like, very
James went
upset.
dark.
Yeah, we were flipping out at that point.
I was
Like,
just annoyed. I was like,
were
why
mad.
would they even be here to do that? Like, it's such a waste
Yeah.
of time and money and, like, blah, 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 blah.
Just absolute tease.
Yeah.
But I don't even know why they do that, even though they did
You
announce
could still
it. 'Cause,
argue
why
it was
would
a
you
waste of money.
ruin?
It was-
Well, it was, and I just feel like it
Yeah.
just ruined the surprise because we were all so annoyed at it, and the showcase was so shit.
And
No,
then we were in
well, to be
denial
fair,
when it did
it's-
eventually happen.
I
We were
don't
like,
think-
nah, this isn't it. They should have announced it a second ago if it was. And
I
then,
think-
sure enough.
No, but then I think that made it more of a surprise because you were like, I was checked out by that point. Like, I was like, oh, it's not here. Like, it's next year or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of
Fair.
people probably tuned out.
Yeah, I mean,
Period.
But it's not like Capcom's going to be like to him, oh, is the showcase shit this year? Because if not, we won't do it this. Like, he's not. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Maybe they should have that conversation in future.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Anyway,
so
move
then
on.
The show closes, and Jeff does his usual like little. It's just an incredible.
Starts crying.
I think it was tearing up. Yeah, I was like, what
Yeah,
is this
literally.
game? Like, what could it possibly be? And obviously, I didn't ever expect that it would be Resident Evil 9, but it was. And it looks great. That's all I can say.
Take us through the trailer. Like, what
no, I'm
jumped
not
out
doing
to
that.
you about
Take
it?
us
So-
through the emotions.
I guess
Yeah.
the only thing. Well, I thought it was a Remedy game at first. It felt very Remedy.
Yeah,
like, with the
it
FBI
did.
shit. But then obviously they introduced the main character, and then I was like, "Is it? Is it? Is it?" And then I started making noises, and then it was obviously a Resident Evil game.
He
So-
squealed.
Yeah, I think it's good that it's going back to the horror roots. I don't want to say roots, that's stupid, but like Resi 7, like it's the same director as Resi 7, so you can expect it to be a little bit more horror-esque, and I definitely feel like that trailer communicates that a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that they're pulling from the deepest cuts of the lore, like to have these new characters and stuff. But yeah, like there's not enough in there to kind of talk about it too much without boring people. But going back to Raccoon City is really cool. I think I don't see why narratively that could ever be justified, but like I don't care. Like I think it's really cool fan bait, fan servicey nostalgia bait.
So
Yeah.
help me like position this in the Resident Evil timeline. Like, this is the furthest we've been, right, in the timeline.
Well, we don't really know, but yes, it's definitely. We think it's after
It
Village.
looks
right?
that way.
We don't
I
know,
think-
but
Yeah.
yes.
Well, we don't. Well, we don't. But like, you can kind
Don't
of.
know for sure.
You can like extrapolate from the character who the main character's daughter is. She was X years old, and how her daughter is that old. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's definitely after Village. I think it's before the DLC, though, of Village. You know how that jumped really far ahead with Rose.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
So I think it's before that. I don't think it's that far in the future.
Okay.
But yeah, I still think Leon's there. There's definitely there's got to be like some kind of presence from someone else, right? Like from
Surely
one of the
don't
main
go back to Raccoon City without Leon
all of
making
them,
an
the whole
appearance.
gang.
Yeah.
Bring them all back. Don't make it like Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Ultimate. Everybody's here. Like, I genuinely think they might do that because it's like 30th anniversary. There's been a lot of talk about this kind of wrapping up the timelines and stuff to start new. I could see them doing that. Bring everyone back for like one last hurrah. But yeah.
Do you think there's like any mention of like the Mega Myseat?
Yes.
And yeah, you reckon they
Absolutely.
kind of stitch 7 and 8 kind of all into it, and
I think so.
it all like ties everything together a bit more?
I mean, in that trailer, there's something crawling around on the walls and shit, right? And that, like, to me, looked very, like, moldy coated compared to, like, the other enemies that you encounter in these games. Would you guys like it to be first person or third person as casual fans?
First, personally, but that's because I resonate most with 7.
I think, first, I did see, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but could it be first person when you were playing as the Gal and third person as Leon? And do both?
I think that would be a good way to do it, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, because then it's like kind of
Horror,
those
tense,
eras
but
of
action.
Resident Evil kind of coming together. Because I saw this as like falling into the kind of trilogy of like 7, 8, 9. So I imagined it was going to be kind of first person, a continuation of that. But maybe if it does like bring in the story of the prior games, it does like borrow some of the third person elements too. That could be interesting.
If you're playing as Leon, I think it has to be third person, right? I just don't think it would make sense to have him in first person.
People just love to look at Leon, so it would be
His ass. Just get it in front of me and I'll play it.
Do you give any credence, James, to the theory that I'm reading online that pretty much most of the stuff we saw in that trailer could be like prologue material?
Yes, I believe that.
Yeah.
I think
I love the
yeah.
Resident Evil prologues. They're always so good.
Yeah, I feel like they're really good at marketing at the beginning as well to be like intentionally misleading. And like Resi 2 had a really cool prologue. Resi 4 had some really cool trailers that weren't actually in the game but kind of set up the game. So like I definitely, it's not like something they haven't done before, right?
Yeah.
But I do think
I feel like 7 did a really good job of that too, right? Like it was really
7
just
was
like,
the best. Like
Oh,
the
the
way
amount of
that
times I
7
played that. Man.
Yeah, and like the way they kind of like hot patched shit in without people knowing and like added stuff and people uncovered it. That was all really cool. Even kitchen, like having that kitchen demo for so long and then all of a sudden it was actually a Resi game. Like that was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this will be really good. I wasn't sure where they would go after Village, but seeing this has me really excited because I'm actually replaying 7 last week before I got other games to play, and it's still so good. Like it's still so creepy. So
yeah.
Question for you, James. It's January next year. We're doing our fantasy critic.
February.
You draw.
no,
No, sorry. I'm painting a picture. You and fuck.
Oh, gotcha.
It's January next year. We're doing our fantasy critic. You draw first pick. Are you picking Resident Evil over Grand Theft Auto? Are you picking Grand Theft Auto at all?
Should we be talking about that in advance? Is
Why
that?
not?
We're
Are you
gonna
just wanting the
forgotten.
inside scoop?
I certainly won't remember this time next year.
sure. Why not?
That's
I
it.
believe in it.
That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to hear.
Yeah.
That's ludicrous, but okay.
Pragmata or Grand Theft Auto? Onimusha or
Brody's taking notes.
you could just fill your list with Capcom games.
Yeah.
Just have a real.
Strategizing
They've got
already.
2 big games next year at
And
least.
Pragmata.
And Pragmata. So, big year
Quickly
for
on the
Capcom.
release date, James, like February 27th, I want to know. I want to think from memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that sooner than you anticipated? About
No.
right?
I think
Later
it's
than you
actually.
like?
I actually think it's late. I
Bang
think it was meant
on.
I reckon it was meant to be this year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's a good time to release it. That February slot is.
They
is
always
pretty great.
put a game out in Jan or Feb, and it always does well. Or
Yeah.
early. I should say early, like first quarter. But yeah.
I'm pleased to report as well, James, that the group chat has already spun up, and we are planning to get together and play Resident Evil 9 together, me and my mates. The date is in the calendar.
That's cute.
That's going to give him nightmares for the next 8 months.
That is just like a disease for which I have no cure. Ewan.
It's great. It's like a communal thing. Like we're just
Fucking
experiencing
awful.
the
It's the
story
worst.
all together.
You're so stupid. You can do better. I believe in you that you can do better.
I have played through all the remakes myself. I didn't. No, sorry. Two. Two. I did play through myself. 3. I did. 4. I did.
Then you can do anything.
No, that's
true.
Not, did you do 7 by yourself?
No, 7's where it started. We played 7
Go
together.
back and do that by yourself.
And then we played 2 together, and then we
Patient
played
0.
8 together, and I played 3 and 4 myself. Yeah. It's a whole thing. It's like a tradition we got going now. It's great. It's good fun.
Fucking awful.
I give it a go. All right. I think I'll leave it there then, unless anyone's got any last minute announcements they wanted to shout out, pausing for a moment to let you do that. No, I do have a rapid fire question for you all then.
Actually,
Oh, God, Shannon.
well, no,
Oh
we
my
didn't speak
God.
about the Xbox handheld at all. I don't think. I don't know
I
if
tried
we would've-
bringing it up. I was like, they
move
started
on.
it.
Move on. Move.
I don't think you were paying attention.
No, tell me about the Xbox handheld.
Tech time with Shannon
Why
coming
would
in.
He's muted himself.
Has he
as
muted
well.
his mic now?
I
He
love
has
that.
muted his mic.
It keeps muting. I think I must keep tapping my spacebar.
King of tech time.
Intervention.
I want to know how James and Brody feel about it. But essentially, it's, an Asus ROG Ally with the Xbox branding. But what's more exciting is they're launching like a custom OS that like shaves off a bunch of system memory and like extends battery life because you're not running Windows in its whole entirety, which is also coming to other handhelds. But yeah, Brody and James, I want to know how you both feel about it now that Xbox are releasing, I guess, a handheld. Will it be there?
It looks nice. Like, I like the form factor of it. The fact that it like integrates the controller, kind of like the Portal. I think I ragged on it when PlayStation did it, but now that I've sort of seen it in practice here, I'm like, oh, it actually looks kind of good. But that said, if they are doing what you say and they're bringing the like sort of OS experience to other like my ROG Ally that I've already got, I don't know that I'm necessarily going to upgrade straight away. Like, I might see sort of how that goes, because it doesn't sound like I'm gaining anything to, except for an Xbox button, to upgrade. So yeah,
Fair.
I think the OS thing is probably the coolest element to this announcement, because it probably just brings those Windows-based gaming handhelds like closer to parity to Steam and what they've achieved with the Steam Deck, which I think was always the hope with this device, and it was kind of going to be like paving the way maybe for like a dedicated Xbox handheld down the track. Yeah. What else was I going to say about it?
There's nothing
I don't think
else.
it's going to move the
It's
needle
not-
hugely.
No,
But-
I just
No.
think it's like so
I do
whatever.
think this is the beginning of like Xbox's transition to like Xbox becoming a PC brand first and foremost, and I think
Yeah, I
it'll
agree.
definitely all become like this,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
What I was going to say as well is like it's got a new processor in there, right? Which was maybe a little bit overlooked in the announcement, but that sounds like quite a substantial upgrade to it. Just in terms of like the efficiency of it, which should help performance, but then also battery life too, if I'm not mistaken. So everything we're kind of talking about with the Nintendo Switch 2, there might be some more improvements in that sort of era, just like
this
that,
is-
in that
this
space
is-
on the way.
Like the handheld dream, right? Like this is going to be like any game you can play on Xbox, you can then just pick up on your handheld and like the saves will sync. Like this is what we've always wanted. From like a handheld experience in this generation.
But that's going forward, right? Like, if the game wasn't made as an Xbox Play Anywhere game, you don't have that.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like every first party game. So like it's they've been doing that for a while. Well,
I will say I am a little bit nervous having like picked my lane and invested in the Switch 2. Like I really hope indies like
Take it back.
continue. I really do hope like indies continue to kind of support the Nintendo console. Like I'd be really disappointed if a game like comes out on PC and is available for like a year on the platform
Why
there,
wouldn't
and I
they?
could have been playing on a
yeah,
Asus
there's
ROG
no
and not-
there's no
like-
doubt.
Yeah, it
What
sold
is
like
the
3
concern
million
then?
in like a day or something. So I mean,
Yeah, I'm hoping the install base of the Switch 2 is like strong enough that day and date it gets game releases. Because there's going to be like the Switch one was my indie machine in so many ways, and I kind of hope that carries over with this one. But yeah.
Well, it's not going to get any announcements at the moment, so who knows what the goal is in the future.
I don't think you're allowed to announce for it until next year now.
Free Hollow Knight, I say.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to derail. Rapid fire. Let's go.
Rapid fire. My rapid fire question for each of you is, in light of this weekend of new announcements, what is your most anticipated game right now? Be it one of the new ones or something that was already on your radar. What is currently your most anticipated game? Brody, have you got an answer?
I think probably Grand Theft Auto 6 still. It's a basic bitch sort of answer, but
It is.
yeah, I mean, I'm just keen to see what they can do with it, that Rockstar touch.
Likewise, mine's not terribly unpredictable, and it's Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Still hanging for that one. Eager to see more. James, maybe I could guess?
Pragmata. I want to see how it shakes out.
Shannon. I don't know if we're going to get more serious answer from James.
Like, if I could have any game tomorrow to be GTA, but I'm going to say Donkey Kong Bonanza, just because it's like close in the near future, and it's going to be
not have
good.
long to wait. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a good showcase of the Switch 2 as well.
Did you say
Looking
because
forward
it's
to that.
close?
Yeah, like I can touch it.
Mine's
Excitement
Eye is
level
out
I mean,
this
I've played
this
it.
week, so
Yeah, Mind's Eye is out
that's
tomorrow,
the closest
isn't
game
it?
right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that your
Pass.
next one? The eyes are closed.
I mean, I am keen to see how that
Mind's
shakes
Eye is
out,
closed, it
to be
seems.
honest.
I think it won't be
Speaking of
shaking.
games you can play right now, we could play What the Wiki right now, the Press Start podcast game show where the previous week's winner reads part of a Wikipedia page from an unknown game, and we, the contestants, must guess the game. A point is awarded for each correct guess, with a round concluding after someone's bagged themselves 2 points. Last week, that was Brody, who will be in the hosting chair today. He's climbed up into second place, trailing just behind me on 18 points. Brody, you're on 16 points. James, you're in third on 15. Shannon, you're in fourth on 7. And Harry bringing up the rear on 4 points. But Brody, as I said earlier, you're the host today as the winner last week. Take it away when you're ready.
All right, no worries. The game is an action-adventure video game based on a film of the same name. Developed by Warthog Games and released for GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox, it is the second set of games to have this title. It is the second set of games to have this title following the release of the same name in 2001. I don't understand that sentence. The story follows blank. I'm not going to read any of that. The game received mixed reviews. Critics commented on the game's accessible gameplay and its unimpressive graphics. The player controls the character from a third-person perspective. 2 years after the release of the game on the PlayStation, a new version of the game for 6th generation consoles was developed by Warthog Games and released in 2003. Its gameplay differed greatly from the other version and followed the film far more closely, though it was criticized for reusing assets which from its game that was released the year prior. The game was initially rumored in June 2003 for 6th generation consoles.
Shannon, no.
Yeah, go on, have a crack.
Nah.
It might get
I was
us.
going to say King Kong.
It's not King Kong. I might just have to start reading spoilery stuff here.
I'm back.
Tapping stuff back in.
The story follows protagonist Blank, who, after discovering he is a wizard, is sent to Blank, where he makes friends. Ewan.
Is this Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets?
It's not. Where he makes friends and receives magical training, and along with his friends stops Blank from returning to power. James.
It's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
It is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
I hate that.
That was a rough Wikipedia page. I'm sorry.
What are Warthog Games doing now? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, look out for that. They're probably still working on that remake of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. All right. James is on 1. Game number 2. All right. The game is an action role-playing game developed by Blank. It is based on a book series of the same name, acting as non-canonical sequels. Ewan.
No. Is it Aragon?
Aragon? No, it's not Aragon.
This came up recently because James
Acting as
said this is a
non-canonical
UNS
sequels
game, and he was 100% right.
to the story of the books. I'm actually reading the series page, not the page for the game I'm talking about.
James.
James.
Is it Game of Thrones?
It is not Game of Thrones.
Oh. I'm also back.
The game's story takes place after the events of the main saga. It received positive reviews from critics. A console version was scheduled for release in 2009 using an entirely new engine and combat system. This was suspended as a result of payment problems with console developers Widescreen Games. Wonder what they're up to these days. A sequel to this game was released in 2011. A remake of this game was announced in October 2022, which was formerly first teased under the code name Canis Majoris.
Oh.
It will be
Shannon.
Oh, Ewan.
Shannon first.
No, I'm not saying it because it's wrong. I'll be upset if it's not wrong.
You want to have a go?
I'm worried I'm going to get this wrong too. Is it...
Oh, okay.
Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars Knights of the
It's
Old
not.
Republic.
Shannon, do you want to go back in?
Nah, it's not what I thought it was.
Just say it.
I'll be an idiot. Nah, I'm good.
It's too late.
The remake of this game will be developed using the Unreal Engine 5, the same engine in use for the planned second trilogy. Fool's Theory will mainly develop the remake with full creative supervision.
Developers.
Yeah, you're just saying words. It's too much.
There are three. There are three.
Deliriously
I feel
tired.
like people would be upset that you haven't got this yet. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Really?
Maybe it's
Quite
quite what
possible.
it is. There are 3 camera styles available in the game. Very dynamic. 2 isometric perspectives, where the mouse is used to control most functions, and an over-the-shoulder view, Ewan's favourite, which brings the player closer to the in-game combat while limiting vision. In all 3 views, the controls can be changed to be primarily mouse-focused or combined keyboard and mouse approach. The story takes place in a medieval fantasy world and follows Blank, one of a few travelling monster hunters who have supernatural powers.
Oh.
Players can
What
choose
is
one.
this?
Players can choose one of 3 fighting styles to use in different situations and against different foes. The fast style allows for more rapid, less damaging attacks with higher chance of hitting faster enemies. Alchemy is a significant part of the gameplay. The player can create potions that increase health or endurance regeneration. I'm just jumping around here. Set in the...
Ewan, help me out here. Is this a Witcher game?
It may be a Witcher game.
Okay.
Shannon.
Is it you? Is it the...
Well,
Sorry.
Ewan.
Ewan is still going.
Do I-
Relax.
What? He just asked a question.
He buzzed
didn't even
in
say his
first.
name. Did he?
I'll take it. I'll take the buzz. Is it The Witcher 2?
It's not. Shannon.
Shannon. Is it The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt?
No.
James.
Oh, the times roll
James.
Is it The Witcher?
It is The Witcher.
Oh, bullshit. I've handed you both those points.
Well,
I
that
have.
sucks.
One of my
You didn't
friends
hand
is
him
gonna
both
be
points.
so
You handed him
upset.
all 3 points because you didn't.
All 3 points. God damn it.
He's now tied with you, bro.
I thought this was like a Witcher tactics game or something I didn't know about, but I'm forgetting what the first Witcher game probably was like.
Is there are they remaking the first Witcher?
Yes, that's what he said.
Wow.
That's-
I thought he was just making shit up at this point, to be honest with you.
It's under the code name.
To be honest,
Canis
my
Majoris.
memory was only about 20 seconds long. So everything he said prior to that, was just
Yeah.
amazing.
Anyway, well done. Well
Is that
done,
a
James.
sweep?
Okay.
Yeah, it was a 3-pointer.
So he's gone from 15 to 18
He's
and
tied with
tied
you.
with me in the process.
Yeah, good.
God damn it.
Big.
That's annoying.
No, it's
That's
not.
really annoying. With that, let's bring an end to what was this week's episode of the Press Start podcast. Subscribe to us on Listener or the podcast service of your choice. Follow us at press.au and visit the site at pressstart.com.au. We've been joined today by Shannon.
Yeah, that is me. You can follow me on Shannon Grixty on everything.
Also joining us today was James.
Yeah, you can find me on X at JamesATJAMZ. I'm also elsewhere. Just look.
Blue Sky as well, allegedly. And last but not least, we had Brody.
Thank you. You can follow me on most things at Brody_DG.
And I've been your host, Ewan. You can follow me on socials at Ewan_Roxborough. We'll be back again next week. But until then, happy gaming.
Bye.
The happiest of gaming.